What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm doing a complete tutorial and review of the brand new Urban Decay Naked Cherry collection. This is the coolest pair of packaging I think I've ever received, by the way. Like a giant cherry. I can store stuff in this. It opens. There's a lot of confetti in there. I'm gonna keep it closed so that I don't have to vacuum when I'm done with this video, but just take my word for it. I'm keeping this and I'm storing stuff in this because like it's a giant cherry. So Urban Decay came out with a brand new collection called the Naked Cherry collection, and they came out with a brand new cherry scented setting spray, 3 new lipsticks, a Naked Cherry palette, and the Naked Cherry blush and highlight palette is pretty awesome. So I'm gonna first show you a tutorial on this look. Everything I'm wearing is from that collection. So I did my eyes and then my cheeks and my lips, and then I set everything with all of the products in that collection, and then when we're done, I'm gonna kind of give you a review and my thoughts on everything. So if you'd like to see a tutorial on how I achieved this look, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I'm really excited to dive into this palette. Seriously, I've been waiting for it all night. So I'm first gonna go in with the shade Hot Spot and a blending brush just to set, wow. Okay, a lot of kickback when I just reached my brush into it. There is quite a bit of kickback that comes out from the shade Hot Spot, but you know, we'll work with it. I'm just gonna set the primer that I put on my lid. I really don't even know what I'm going to go in with this look with. I'm always drawn to the really beautiful like peachy shades that are in here. So I might actually go in with the shade Juicy, and probably I'm going to go in with my E40 brush from Sigma and just kind of put this, still a lot of kickback with this shadow. But let's see how it blends out. So it's pretty nice and pigmented for this like beautiful peachy color. I actually really like that. It's much more pigmented than I thought it would end up being. A lot of times these peachier shades on my eyelids just kind of vanish, but this one stands out really nicely. One thing I was hoping was that this palette would smell like cherries, but it doesn't. So if you were wanting a palette that smells good, this isn't the one for you. But luckily it doesn't smell bad either. I guess that could be like the worst case scenario. Totally thought this would smell like cherries. I don't smell it at all, if it's supposed to. Yeah, I love though how pigmented that shade was. I mean, that really surprised me. I think that they did a great job so far with that color. It looks really nice. I honestly don't know where I'm going with this look, so I think I'm gonna go in with the shade Bing. Okay, so we're gonna go in with the shade Bing, which is also a really matte, pretty purpley pinky color. Again, there's kickback coming out on it, but at this point I kind of expected that. So ooh, this color is super pretty, and again, this has a lot of pigment. It's interesting. I love how they chose like a few peachy tones, but then they really just went with like the cooler purpley red tones, which are nice. One thing I also really like about this palette that is different than a lot of the other Naked palettes that I've used is that there's way more mattes to work with than shimmers. That was one reason I always kind of shied away from using some of the Naked palettes, because I'm not a fan of shimmery shadows all over the eye. So definitely like how this is pretty much mostly mattes. I'm gonna go back in with Juicy and a little bit more on my E40 brush and just kind of like blend out the edges just a bit more. Now I'm going back in with my E25 brush, and I'm going to take the shade Devilish, and I'm going to put that, pack that more on my lid and blend it into the crease. And I'm only going to go about halfway because I'm going to add a different color next. I'm actually going to take, an Urban Decay brush that came with one of the palettes, and I'm taking the flat like concealer side, and I'm going to take the shade Young Love, and see what that looks like packed on the lid. First with the brush, and wow, that's even really pigmented without putting any kind of, I didn't even wet my brush and it's pretty pigmented. That's nice. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick that on the inner corner and I'm gonna blend that into the Devilish shade. That's really pretty. Even using that, like, I'm actually really surprised that came off so pigmented. Again, I just want to kind of blend those edges a bit. And then I'm going to take the shade Bang Bang, and I'm going to actually use my finger for this part, and I'm just going to kind of blot it in the center here. Kind of want to see how they layer, if they layer nicely. I think it's alright. It doesn't give its true pigment, obviously, because it's over top of Young Love, but I think that's kind of pretty. I do have a little bit of fallout since there was some kickback with this shadow, but other than that, I'm liking it so far. Okay, taking an E17 Sigma brush, I want to go back in with Devilish, just along my lash line. I do want to take a little bit of that Bing color and smoke out that lash line a little bit. Okay, so I think I'm going to finish my eyes. So I'll do my lashes and then we'll come back and I'm going to use the face palette to do my cheeks and highlighter. Okay, so now I have my eyes done and I'm going to move on with the Naked Cherry face palette. So this is the highlighter and blush palette. There's one blush in there and then two highlighters. One is more of like a white color and the other is more of kind of like a gold champagne. So I'm going to actually apply that. I think I'm going to do, I want to do a mix of the two because the white is usually too white for me, and then sometimes the champagne colors alone aren't the greatest for me either. So we're just going to kind of fan them on. Okay, that looks nice. I mean, they blend really well. They're not overly chunky. I wouldn't say they're overly powerful either, but that's kind of almost a good thing, because if you want to use these as like an everyday highlighter, then they're not going to be like in your face, and they kind of do just melt right into the skin. So at first I thought I wasn't going to like that they weren't as pigmented and like bam, but I kind of don't mind it like that. And I think since there isn't like a brow highlighter in the palette, I'm gonna highlight my brow bone with the champagne color. And to do that, I'm gonna take a Sigma E47 brush and I'm just gonna run that. Oh, maybe I will do a mix of the white and the champagne there, just to give it an extra something. And now I'm gonna go in with that blush. It's a really pretty rosy, exactly what you would picture like a blush, a true blush color to look like. I really like it. I don't have anything like that in my collection. I'm not sure how pigmented it's going to be, so I'm going in with a lighter hand and blending it. Definitely, it's definitely really pretty. It blends nice with the highlighter. And it really makes the eyes pop, I feel like. And of course this collection came with a cherry scented all-nighter setting spray. Ooh, it's got like rose gold foiling on it. Love that. I love the setting spray, so we'll give this a go. Oh yeah, very cherry scented. And then finally, for the lips, they did come out with 3 new colors. And I'm going to go in with the shade Juicy, but I obviously will show you guys in the review the other colors. Juicy is just a really pretty nude, almost a sparkly metallic-y color. So it's kind of sheer. Don't think I like it with this look. It kind of washes me out a little bit. So we might actually go in with the shade Devilish. Okay, so that was definitely a little bit better. It still actually does work as a daytime color. It almost looks kind of glossy, which I like. I didn't actually expect to like this one that much, but I really do. So let's first talk about the palette, because I feel like that's what everybody is most excited about. Anytime Urban Decay comes out with a new Naked palette, I'm there, and I'm pretty sure you guys are there too. But let's just talk about this packaging. When I opened this, I was really shocked at how beautiful it was. It's just so stunning and breathtaking, and you can really tell that they took their time into kind of the design of everything. But then it's just your typical Naked palette layout. So they have 12 brand new shadows. You get a eyeshadow brush and a really big mirror, which is definitely the top things that I look for when getting a palette. Does it have a mirror? Because obviously if I'm going to take it when I'm traveling, to me it's really important to have a mirror, and a lot of the times I'll just use the mirror at home to do my makeup. But the fact that it comes with a brush, I mean, who doesn't love that? I always love their brushes, and this one has me really excited. This one's interesting. I actually didn't open it or use it when I did this tutorial, but it actually has a semi-transparent middle, which is cool, and it has this really beautiful pinky metallic coating on it, and then it's just a nice blending brush, and then a little kind of almost a diffusing, or I guess I would almost has like a smoke out brush, so it's really good for that lower lash line. So really like this brush. Always happy to get a new brush. I like that it has a really good mix of mattes and shimmers in there. One of the things I didn't really like about some of the other Naked palettes is a lot of the times they would be mostly shimmers, and that was really hard to work with, especially if you're going to be using that palette for an everyday palette. Obviously you probably won't use this for an everyday palette because the colors are so out there, but I feel like this is really pretty for fall, so I actually do see myself reaching for this a lot for the next couple months. Like I said in my tutorial, I did notice that there was quite a bit of kickback with the mattes. Now I didn't use all of the matte shades, but I did use, I believe, 3 or 4 out of the 5 matte shades, and they did have a little bit of kickback, which is to be expected with a lot of shadows these days. But the shimmers to me really impressed me. That is what really blew my mind, is that the shimmers were very pigmented, and I found it shocking that I didn't even have to wet my brush beforehand or just simply use my finger to get the most out of the shadow. I mean, these shadows are very pigmented, and I think well worth the money for this. Now let's talk about the Naked Cherry Highlight and Blush palette. This is really cute. The packaging is a little bit less wow factor as the other packaging for the eyeshadow palette. This is just more of your standard kind of like cardboardy packaging, which I mean I guess is fine, and it comes with this little trio here. My only complaint is I wish they weren't completely made together in the pan. I wish there were like little bars to separate, because I am afraid that this blush is going to kind of move over to this light highlighter, and then they're going to get kind of blurred together, and I don't know how messy it's going to end up getting. I guess that's only something that time can tell. But I do love this blush shade. I feel like this is a true beautiful shade, especially for fall. It's like a nice warm rich blush, true blush shade to me. The highlighters both are really great. I feel like they melted really nicely into the skin, as you can see. They're not as shocking and wow and pigmented as a lot of other blushes or highlighters out there, but I do feel like they're great for an everyday look, and I feel like they make my skin look really glowy and healthy and pretty, and so I definitely am down with that. Now I feel like we don't really have to go over too much of the setting spray because everybody loves the Urban Decay setting spray, but it is interesting that now it just has a scent. If you're not into scented things, or you have reactions to things that are scented, then I guess I would shy away from this, because it is quite a strong scent. So if scents kind of mess with your senses or kind of irritate you, I wouldn't go with this, because it was quite fragrant. Next, we'll talk about the 3 new lip colors. So we have the shade Juicy, which is a really beautiful nude shimmery color. This is going to be great for holiday. I feel like lipstick with a little bit of shimmer is going to be really beautiful for different holiday looks and fall looks. But also I love how comfortable and almost glossy feeling that it feels. It's just not as sticky as like a lip gloss is, and it has really great pigment like a lipstick. The next shade is the exact same metallized finish. It is the shade Devilish, which is what I'm wearing on my lips now. I thought it was going to actually be a lot more rich, and I really like this shade. I didn't think that it was going to come out this way, but to me this is actually something I could see myself wearing more as an everyday fall color, because it is just a more beautiful natural looking lip color, adds a little bit of a sheen, a glossy sheen to it, and it has that and I dropped it. And it has that beautiful sparkle in it, so it's perfect to me for the holidays. And last but not least, we have the shade Cherry, which is a cream, and it's just their same iconic cream lipstick color. Their lipsticks, I love, you guys. I wear them all the time, and so this is just a really nice fall color. And last but not least, I didn't use these in the video, but they did come out with 2 new 24/7 Glide On eye pencils, which are my absolute favorite. In this video, I'm just using their regular black 24/7 Glide On pencil, but they did come out with a black market colored pencil and a Love Drug pencil. So one is obviously black, but it has like a nice shimmery sheen to it, and the other is a really pretty purpley plummy color, almost like a chocolate covered cherry color, if you will. So I love how this whole collection is very cohesive and flows together. I feel like it was very well thought out. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and review. Make sure that if you're not already, to hit that subscribe button down below, because I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers. And I'm really happy about it. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.